I have some new thoughts about why most of people have problem learning a language. First of all, there are physiological, physiological, physiological problems, like I have now in pronouncing that word. Means normal problems because every time you learn something, it's a process. A process means that there are uh, attempts, and some of them are successful, some of them are not. Like evolution. But in the long run, evolution works. Uh, so when you learn your first language, surely you had problems. You didn't learn without people correcting you, without guessing meanings, without some mistakes. Let's think that the whole process of language evolution is based on that. That not only influences by other languages, not only new places where people live that give them new words and new meanings for old words, like in America, American English, but also that from one generation to other generation, there is a certain degree of loss of a language, of the real meaning of the sounds or whatever, and a new things that one generation thinks is wrong in the long run is a new form of a language. So language are constantly changing. So when we learn a foreign language, surely there is a process of guesswork, of not exact pronunciation, and even in our own language, it always happened that you thought that the words means that, and you discovered that all your guesswork in your whole life was wrong. Surely not main words, but it happens. It happens also to native speakers. So the problem is we want to be exact, logical, and perfect from the beginning, and everything needs to be alright from the beginning, when it's not like this that a language develops inside us. So the first thing is we have problems sometimes because we have some growing pains, some, and we think that we shouldn't have. So the first problem, don't see the mistakes you make, the fact that you don't understand everything, the fact that sometimes you're at loss for words, literally, as a, as something wrong, something bad, is the process. Having said that, surely there is a surplus of problems due to the fact that you face the learning of a foreign language in a very artificial, stilted way, stuffy way. That means in the past there were two opposite methods. Okay, the first method before the discovery of the writing was just speaking. So the problem with this process is that it's perfect if you have around you many native speakers. But the moment you learn a foreign language and you learn it, most of the times you learn it because just around you they speak another language, just the language you already speak. With the writing, people could have access to a foreign language through written words. The problem that is not scientific. So in order to read, you need to listen to the sounds. And when you have the same alphabet, people think it's easier. Actually, it's more difficult because you have the same letters with a different sound, and sometimes you have 2 or 3 letters that represents just one sound. When you watch on the internet a lot of people explaining the language, it would seem that the language is like history and geography. You can have a cognitive approach to history and geography that is on the, let's say, the left side of your brain. But languages do not work like this. So we have to make the most of our natural ingrained method of learning a foreign language, which is exposure to the language, continued long-lasting exposure to the language, and to a language that is we are able to understand. That means that if I start absorbing, I prefer the word absorbing a foreign language, I wouldn't be exposed to the whole speaking of people, but like children, we need somebody who make that more absorbable, like food for babies. We cannot give a steak, and nature even invented a specific food for baby, which is milk. We need our linguistic milk, that is a language that is absorbable through what? Through the simple situation. The simplest way to learn a language or a word is just visual. This word is similar in Greek and in Italian, is cappello in Italian and cappello in Greek. Cappello. Cappello. Occhiali. Occhiali. What's the problem, by the way? People want to know exactly if this is masculine, is it feminine, is singular, is plural, whatever. No, no, please, no. That's not the way. Listen to the word, match the meaning and the object. You learned the word. Plural, I don't tell you. You shouldn't be told how to make plurals. You hear. And then people start to rationalize. Oh, I hear in Greek, cappello, che capella, in Ethio, che when I hear chitarra, I hear guitars in a plural. Sorry, I was telling. Why is that? Well, you'll discover that. You'll discover that. Don't rationalize for the time being. You know that that is a plural and that is a plural of that word, and being exposed to many, many words, you will understand there are some words that end with O, they have O. They have a plural that is A, and other words that end in A can plural in with S. Is it logical? Is it easy? No, because sometimes you hear cappella and you don't know if it's feminine singular or plural masculine neuter. That's why we have a language that is very logical and work wonders called Esperanto. But concerning other languages, is just the use. You have to develop the feel of the language. How would you develop that? Being exposed constantly, continuously to a language that you can absorb. You say, well, you show objects, what about other things? Well, you develop then from movement and other things the ability to learn other verbs, and then from the language you already acquired, you can use that language without necessarily having a situation, a context, to develop other language, so it becomes easier and easier. Okay? If I know home, that is house, a home, speed, that is house, and I don't have a town in front of me, Okay? How would I explain town? Well, there is another simple way. London is a town. But many houses are a town. So you use many in houses. Okay? I have one pen, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ecco, le sti là, ecco, pola. Sti là, ecco, liga sti là. I give you an example with Greek because I know Greek. That's the way to go. And then, what other beautiful thing about that? You are constantly exposed to a real-time language. You're able to understand people when they speak in real time. You develop the right reflexes, the right words. Other tip: just learn the words you need. At the beginning, obviously, the words a 2-year-old boy or girl would use. Alright, how many words can he or she use? Well, quite a lot. Let's say a 3-year-old, 2-year-old, I would say in the first months, 2, 3, 4 months, and then you develop the language of a 3-year-old. Whatever you wouldn't expect, a 3-year-old child to say in your own language, do not learn in a foreign language, unless it's words that you need for some reason. So that's an exception. For example, you learn the ukulele and you learn how you say and you speak about that, and you learn how to say this, how to say this part, how to say this, because you need it. So you have to make decisions. Some words you wouldn't ever use in your language, however much people they think they are important. Everything is subjective. If I say heavy, light, interesting, boring, up, down, right, left, that surely is important. So be sure that you have a method, have things that expose you to the right language. Now I say, well, let's dispense with books, but sometimes you need something to hold on to. And the books can be useful if you have the audio, even better, the video part, because you can reinforce that when you know, in a part. Now you have all these devices, you can have access for the most part to this audiovisual material, even if you are on the go. But let's say some people are more like books. Okay, there are some languages where you can learn also through reading the written part. Some other languages like English, they have a deep spelling. Means that don't match a lot. You can acquire bad habits. So I would recommend some languages are better suited for advanced learning through reading books, which is Italian, and I know modern Greek. Okay, for the most part, except for some words like pempty or lambda pempty, that one syllable is not pronounced. For the most part, I would say let leave enough, well enough alone, good enough alone. Other things, when you are on a certain level, use the language for what you like. Watch videos of things you like. Use that for Wikipedia researches, whatever. Use the language you're learning. Listen to the music. Get into the language medium. I know many of these things I've said are commonplace, but believe you me, the written cognitive approach to languages is not working, is boring, it's not natural. So why should you do that? I know sometimes even my video can be boring on, obviously I shoot them at home. If I had some people financing me, it would be better. But what I say is watch these videos several times till you understand, till it is your native language. Then move on and watch some other videos that are more complicated. Obviously, I am shooting very little videos about Greek because the Greek obviously is not my first language. But since I see no material in Greek that is based on this approach that works, I'll bear up with my not perfect Greek pronunciation. It's not bad, it's not perfect. And my Italian videos are quite effective. But you have to dispense with the fact you have to understand everything, you have everything under control. No, you don't have anything, all of what you're learning under control. You can watch the video many times and then maybe, but not the first time, and do not concentrate on detail unless I want to explain something specific, and I'll be the one focusing on that. Okay, that was a long-winded video, but it was very important to understand that I rather use my ability to develop situation where you can understand the language. I repeat and then I put something new. What is the base of this? Something I see on Asimil and Krashner method put together, and that's my personal approach to language learning. Goodbye.